February 23rd, 11:56 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. Mr. Wright? Huh, what? Are trials always like this with you? Like, you're swimming up from the bottom of a lake, about to reach the surface, but no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there. Pretty much. Except today, we're swimming in quicksand. So what happened to your sister anyway? Apparently she got called off to the judge's chambers. Probably something to do with that piece of cloth. So this is where we turn this trial around, right? Our only weapon, a tiny, insignificant piece of cloth. I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth. Hola, partner. They say you show a red cloth to a bull, it'll fire up its temper. That's what they told me when I was a youngin', at least. Officer Marshall. Thought I'd come take a look-see at how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They've got the home ranch locked down tighter than a fort in enemy territory. Why did the timer not start? Oh, it started. Just being weird. That hard to slip out, huh? What is going on over there? I don't know why the timer's being weird, but it is. All the police I've seen the last 2 days have been really on edge. Don't you get enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You could be worrying about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example. Officer Marshall? The whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves? Didn't it, though? She wasn't even wearing a scarf. You don't say. Now, don't that just beat all? I've seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many a time. I saw it that day, too. She was wearing a red muffler. You know, I've never heard a scarf called a muffler before. What? At the awards ceremony that afternoon, Edgeworth seen it too, I'd reckon. What does that mean? In the photograph taken at the crime scene, she wasn't wearing it. Yeah, maybe something's broke. So, Miss Starr wasn't mistaken? Well, it's about time. Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns. And sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell. Ugh, I have a bad feeling about this. So what are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright? If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Woo-wee! Oh my goodness. February 23rd, 12:32 p.m., District Court, number 9. I'd like to resume. What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution. Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes. What's more, your eyes are unfocused. You're doubled over, your back is bent. It can't be. This can't happen. I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth. Well then, I believe it is time we continued on with this trial. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation. This is unacceptable. It seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself. Excuse me, knock knock. Who's saying this? Who's there? What's with this guy? Who's this guy? A strange, stuffy aura seems to be filling the courtroom. Who's this guy? Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in. Who on earth is he? Ah, it's you. Who is you? Why does he have a shell on his face? Oh, hee hee. Sorry I'm late. Udgy, the roads were packed. It's just me. Long time no see Udgy. Who's Udgy? Udgy? How you been? Swim much these days? Ah, hello. No, I've been so busy. Oh, that's his name. Udgy, like judge. Busy? Busy, sizzy, smizzy. Udgy, my boy, you gotta make time to relax. Yes, indeed. Udgy seems like to be his nickname for the judge? I'm afraid you're right, very afraid. Sorry, but who are you? Aha! So you're Righto, that attorney. I heard good things about you, son. Oh, thanks? So sorry about our little worthy giving you that trouble, eh? You know, we should all go swimming together sometime. Jolly. Little worthy? Mr. Wright. You don't know the district chief of police? Chief of police? He's the top-ranking police officer in the entire district. Name's Gant, Damon Gant. Pleased to meet you, everyone. So what do we owe the honor today? It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it? Well, it's worthy here. Look at that poor fellow. I just thought I'd help out by bringing this. Hey, that's my sister's muffler. So, Miss Star wasn't just seeing things? When the crime occurred, Miss Sky really was wearing that muffler? But to think that it was, stuffed in the exhaust pipe. On Little Worthy's car, no less. What's that? It's really quite embarrassing, even for us. What's this? It's what you call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing, this. Objection! Chief, what kind of outfit are you running? Mr. Edgeworth. How could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If your investigators are this lax, how do you expect us to do our job? Now wait a minute, Worthy. I've no desire to hear your excuses. I'm telling you to wait. Or didn't you hear me? Have a look at this document. Here it says, person in charge of investigation. There's no mistaking that signature, is there? Miles Edgeworth?
Drinking has ruined my life.
That's not fair. On the day of the crime, I had your head in the clouds because you got that award. I know how you feel. But you're the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology. What? Are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made. This is the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words. Hey, Izzy's TARDIS. This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth. God. The court accepts this new evidence, but I'd like to ask the defense a favor first. What? That's me. Yes? Just to be sure. I'd like to take a look at the blade of this knife. The blade, Your Honor? Well, I don't see why not. Could you open it for me, I wonder? Yes, well, I think all you have to do is push that switch and... If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I won't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I won't be able to point it at people anymore. Come on, just hurry up and open it. What? Don't scare me like that. I'm the one who's scared. Look at this knife blade. The tip is broken off. And this dark red stain. Blood? Switchblade knife added to court record. Oh no. All my statements that I said are starting to go. She brought a weapon. She had a muffler. All my contradictions are starting to be uncontradicted. That's not good. This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself. I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us about the split between the prosecutors and the police and this knife? Sure thing. Not a problem. Not even a little one, really. Department in disorder. Alright. This knife is special, but I can't say how. I can't say how here. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. The detective was killed at the police department scene. What a mess. A detective was killed at a police department. The time of the crime, 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. There. There was a murder at the police department? A detective? That's hush-hush information, Udgy. We haven't exactly announced it yet.
Objection!
Wait a second. You said 5:15? That's the exact time that Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. Order. Anyway, we at the department are all flustered, as you might well assume. We're in the middle of a top secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? I think we understand the police department situation. Well, Mr. Wright, 2 detectives killed at the same time in 2 different places. The chances of that are really slim, scientifically speaking, of course. I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. Very well. However, keep your questions focused on the case at hand. Alright. This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Excuse me. Special? Mm-hmm. Hard to come by that particular knife anywhere else. Might that special thing be this little tag? Oh, sorry, Righto. I can't say that now. Not that. We've established that the knife in Goodman's chest was this knife. Now, why is this another knife? Why is there another knife at the scene of the crime? That's quite a mystery. And like a mystery, it's wrapped in something. A muffler. Unless there's evidence here to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. There probably is. This knife was found on the scene of our crime. I think that makes it connected to the case, don't you? See, there's a lot of things that go on in the department I can't explain. It's delicate, okay? Sorry, Righto. Maybe there's something about the knife that will give us the clue. Let's examine that knife while we can, Righto. Don't call me Righto. Evidence that links the knife to Detective Goodman? I think perhaps the pieces are falling into place. I should try presenting a piece of evidence that had me stumped all this time. So how are things down at the police department? Okay, let me present, and I will look at the knife. What has had me stumped this whole? Oh, this. Wait, is that the tag? SL92. No, it's not. Wait, yes it is! If you turn it over, it's SL92. If you turn it over, it says 6- it looks like 6-7S, but it's actually SL9. It's SL9. It's the tag of the knife. There's a small tag on the knife. It says SL92. What's that supposed to mean? I'm not sure, but it reminds me of a similar code. DL6? Maybe it's a case number. That's weird. What? I don't remember where, but I think I've seen something like this before. Something similar to what's written on this tag. It wasn't that long ago either. Maybe I should check the court record again. Alright. I think we're gonna present.
Objection!
Wait a second. Ah, at last, an honest-to-goodness objection. This knife. This has to have something to do with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? Aha, an honest-to-goodness, what do you mean from Udgy? This is great. Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL92. And this is important, why? Over here, we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. What's this? 6 minus 7S 12-2? Your Honor, it's upside down. Upside down? The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn it around, what do you get? Ooh. Ah, aha! Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down. SL9. It's the same thing that is written on the knife's tag. Order. Well, Chief? Ah, well, I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win, Rido. I win? Ah, what game is this guy playing? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room.
Hold it!
So this knife was stolen. Yes, but on the day of the murder, it was evidence, you say. It was, in fact, a murder weapon. Nice. Good show, little worthy. It was a murder weapon, as it happens. It was evidence from a case long since solved. So this knife was stolen on the day of the murder, and it was found in the exhaust pipe of Edgeworth's car. Hard to think there isn't a connection there. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. Something happened at the police department too, huh? You got a good look in your eye there, Rido, my boy. Sharp, hungry. So something did happen, and why wasn't I informed? Why weren't you informed? Well, why didn't you ask? No matter, I understand. You were busy. That's what's with Lana's case and all. Well, what happened? What happened at the police department that day? A detective was killed at the police department. See, what a mess.
Hold it!
On the same day that a detective was killed at the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department? Look, I can point. I'm pointing. That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Udgy? I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. Just arrested. That was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, Righto. I suppose I could help if you help me by giving me data on your case. Oh, good one. This kid's sharp. Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing and one thing only. Oh, no. Why? What should I ask? Does it matter? What should I ask? When the victim died? He already said. 5:15. How the victim was killed? Probably doesn't matter. Let's ask where the victim was found. So tell me, where was the victim found? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found. But I can say the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department. The evidence room? Well, wait a second, I have heard of that. The evidence room? Didn't we mention that in his... Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now? There's the connection between the two cases. You seem happy, Mr. Wright. Happy. We just got handed our ticket to go to town on this case. With the link between the two cases established, we finally have some leverage. Now we can get Gant to testify about the details. It's not officially linked to the case here, so I can't talk much about it.
Hold it!
Chief, the defense position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. You don't say. Well, out with it, Righto. What's your connection? Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place mentioned in the testimony we just heard. The knife was found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention the victim had on him the case number on the knife's evidence tag. And we also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed. There do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence. You two make a good pair. It took my men 2 days to find out what you deduced right here. Chief, I request that you release your information on the victim at the police department. See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet and all. Can we get that information unofficially? Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all. What, really? Who would have guessed? I'll cooperate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim at the department, okay?
Hold it!
If you're going to tell us a little, why not tell us everything? Ah, well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly. Oh well, I guess that... Now, what do I want? The division, the ID number, or the gender? I don't think the gender's important. The ID number seems to be the most important thing. I would say the ID number, definitely. Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number? Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell me who it was from that. Of course not. You wouldn't tell me their name after all. We keep a tight lid on ID numbers, so don't go getting your hopes up. The number is 584-2189. 584-2189. 584-2189. Well, that's quite long. And we have to remember these. It drives me nuts. 82. I can't do it. You didn't even get the first number right. Well, Mr. Wright, does that tell you anything? The ID number of the victim at the police department. This tells me something. Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does. I think. Meaning? It has to be what I think it is. But what does this mean? Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say the ID number of the detective who was murdered at the police department tells you something? What does it tell you? It's the same number.
Take that!
Witness. What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night. No, it's just, I got confused. And this is news. Huh? Just come out with both guns blazing like you always do. Go to the police department, the prosecutor's office. 2 places, 2 detectives murdered at the same time. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here. Oh, is it yours? No, Your Honor. I'm a defense attorney, remember? This is the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman. Shame on you, Rido. Personal IDs are top secret. Detective Goodman's ID number is 5842189. And this means what exactly? Huh? Wait, that ID number we heard from the chief earlier, that started with 82. I forgot. You didn't even get the first number right again. The number the chief of police gave us was 2842189.
Objection!
Wait a second, right? What is this mean? That's what I want to know. The 2 ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department's evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that? Oh, ho ho, sharp as attack, Rido. Sharp as attack. But wait, Detective Goodman is our victim. He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot. Yet a detective, Bruce Goodman, was also killed at the police department in the evidence room at the exact same time.
Objection!
That's impossible. So what you're saying is the same person was killed at the same time in a completely different location. Order. And Chief, what is this mean? No. What I want to know is why didn't I hear about this? Yes, it's top secret, fine, but I'm the prosecutor in charge of the case. Now, just wait a second, Worthy. No need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said wait. Or didn't you hear me? The oversight, the grave error, Mr. Edgeworth, they're yours. What? How dare? We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our Officer Meekins who brought you the news. Officer Meekins? Mr. Wright, where have we heard that name before? Wait, aha! Excuse me, but Mr. Edgeworth, anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir. You don't mean him. According to Meekins, you didn't accept the report. Hard to believe. But your officer, he told me, he said the report had nothing to do with the Lana Sky incident. Detective Bruce Goodman murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on the top of the report. Ugh! Why didn't your officer tell me? Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making the connection. He did seem challenged. In any case, this is a serious error, gross negligence of duty on your part, Worthy. But sir, you could have submitted the report this morning to the court as evidence. then I... No such luck this time, worthy. Or should I say unworthy? What? Now, what was the second rule of evidence law? Well, Mr. Wright? Huh? Oh, well, it's, rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And how is this rule relevant? Normally, you submit a list of evidence to be used in court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So what does this mean? I couldn't submit this evidence until a connection was proven in court. The connection was just proven by Righto over there. Good job, Righto, my boy. Huh? I was just doing my job? No. No! Edgeworth is like way on edge. It seems we have come to the end of this trial. I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy, but with all those rumors, you were even in the defendant's chair just this past December. I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part, Mr. Edgeworth. Please, just give me one day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened. If it's the last thing I do. You better get results this time, really. You have my profound apologies, sir. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I don't think there's ever been an error this serious in the history of this court. I will grant one further day as the prosecution has requested. Will that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Whatever your punishment for this is, for your sake, I hope it's not decisive. Very well, court is adjourned. To be well, that was short. That was a short one. That was pretty short.